But, first we want to thank everyone for coming and thank Shader Library, North Hills Library, for all, and Sharon and Marie Jackson, all the progressive programs. They're People's University to bring like 3 quality artists like this. And as Terry said, it doesn't get any better than this in Pittsburgh in terms of having 3 sculptors of this caliber together. Now, I told Thad I was going to say nice things and had something planned, so just let everybody talk. So if anybody has questions or wants to say anything at any time, feel free to ask questions. But we have, well, this is James, Susan, and Thad. So, and they brought some samples of work that are on the back table. So what we're going to do is just have everybody just informally, talk. I'll ask some questions if anyone has a question. Then we're going to show each artist's work again on the screen, and they'll kind of look at it, and if they feel like commenting or you have questions about specific pieces, where it is, or how was it doing that piece, you can ask it at that point. But we'll kind of just like ask everybody like individually in terms of being, in Pittsburgh. And Thad, you've been here and working for a long time. Can we get a number on that, or 50?
I came to Pittsburgh when I was a young man, 1946.
46.
So I've been here ever since.
And you went to Pitt.
I went to University of Pittsburgh.
You're on the track team.
I ran track 1 year and got married, and I did the track, and I started doing sculpture. If I'm not speaking loud enough, raise your hand.
Everybody here back there? Yeah.
I started sculpture. I'm a self-taught sculptor, and many people are surprised at that. But I always say that no matter what you learn or where you learn it, eventually you're self-taught, because sooner or later the teacher goes home and you're on your own. So, and then if you start seeing things that you didn't see in school, or if you don't really believe what they taught you, you start branching out on your own and learning how to do these things. My influences are African tribal art and Brancusi, Constantine Brancusi, and a Japanese American named Semblu Noguchi. Now my girlfriend's Japanese, she's somewhere, so she
Where's Terry?
I always pronounce the Japanese names wrong, but I also pronounce the American names wrong. It doesn't make a tremendous difference. But my work is based on the idea of weight and space, in the sense that it should have a floating quality, it should have a feeling of levitation, and also it should be rhythmic. That comes from, if you look at tribal arts, and of course I'm also a great jazz fan. So, and that's pretty much in a nutshell. And I started carving in the early 50s, so it's simple math. So I'm still at it. I'm in the studio today, and fortunately, I've always been pretty healthy, so I can work large. I don't work as long as I used to, but I can still work sort of large. But that's the nutshell of what I do.
But I mean, such an approachable, gracious man. I think in 1997 you had your Carnegie Museum show.
Yeah, it was my second show. Yeah,
the second show there.
I had my first one in '68. But so every 30 years they give me so 30 years from now, we'll have another one. Yeah.
But I happened to see you standing outside your show one day, and he graciously, like, didn't know me, but took me through and explained his work, and that's kind of what we're trying to do tonight. Although these people are really wonderful what they do, but they're accessible, and it's just kind of to celebrate that they're here and that you can talk to them, and maybe they'll invite you to come and see their work. Maybe you can collect their work. I mean, because we were talking earlier, like 100 years from now, their work is part of this city's history, and it's what's going to be known, just by virtue of their public pieces. And Thad, you did on Samsonia Way with the Lowell Soyinka collaboration house. Could you talk a little bit? Were you aware of what the text was going to be and what your piece would be with that?
Probably. I'm a scientist, but no, I didn't know. The City of Asylum is a project started by Henry Reese, and people remember Rushdie, all the problems he caused.
Salman Rushdie.
And of course he came here, but they had they have a man from El Salvador, they have a man now from Venezuela, they have a young woman from Burma, and what they do, they had a man from China. These political writers that leave their country, there's 5 cities, but I think Pittsburgh has been like the most prominent in this project. It's right near the mattress factory, and one of the things I did was a spiritual house with wings and whatnot, having an idea not so much from a religious denominational idea, but from the idea of personal liberty, personal spirit of escaping whatever situation you're in. So always sort of resort to some sort of wings. I don't know, and mine is mostly music and art. But so that was the theme. And Wallace Soyinka is the first Nobel writer from Nigeria, and he came and he wrote his ideas, and he's been a political refugee off and on. Depends on who the dictator is in Nigeria, then he has to leave. But he was the main person I collaborated with on the idea.
So that's on Samsonia Way in the north side by the Mattress Factory Museum. And if we can segue into Susan, who has done